Hi folks, John with the Wingman 115 channel. Today we're going to be talking about air guns, so stick around. Folks, today we're going to be talking about a brand new air gun from Dynamic Air Rifles, and it's the DAR Gen3. Now, I usually don't do a lot of unboxing videos. Over the years, I've probably only done one, maybe two here on the channel. But I'm really excited about the release of this air gun, and I wanted to get it out in front of you folks today and share it with you. Now, as you know, if you follow along on the channel, I used the DAR Gen2 last year in 25 cal, hunted with it quite a bit, got a ton of ground squirrels with that, and also harvested a coyote, and I'll leave the link in the video description down below. What I'll be doing today is comparing the Gen 3 with the Gen 2, talking about the upgrades to the Gen 3, and then in a video that I'm going to be doing later on, we're going to get out real world testing this out in the field, hunting with this air gun, where I think this platform really shines. So what we're going to do right now is cut away. I'll do a quick specs rundown on this air gun, and then we'll come back and talk about it. When I was planning this video, I thought the best way to convey thoughts is just to show you the difference. Now, here's the Gen 2. This one's no stranger to the channel. Here's the Gen 3. So let's just take it from the top. Let's talk about it. The stock. Got that nice Monte Carlo stock on both with a walnut finish. Looks really well. And I must say, on the Gen 2, taking that coyote, I mean, I had to take him on the fly. He came in hot. So I had to index this air rifle quickly. Has a nice comb on the stock where the cheek well just indexed really nice. We have the same craftsmanship here on the Gen 3. Now, there's a lot of different aspects and improvements that have happened between the Gen 2 and the Gen 3. If you notice the breech, totally different breech. Now, this is milled with a Picatinny rail in there, and this one had a 10mm dovetail. Huge advantage being able to secure your scope mounts. You're not going to get any movement, and as you can see, I've got some trail rash on this air gun, and when you're using them for hunting real world, stuff's going to happen. Things are going to fall over, you're going to get nicks, you're going to get scratches. It's meant to be used, and I think this is a nice upgrade, one with that Picatinny rail versus the 10mm dovetail. Now, let's look at a major improvement. The side lever. One, I've been cycling the action on the Gen 3. Major improvement on how smooth it is compared to the Gen 2. That's not to take away from the Gen 2. It was a nice air gun, but they've listened to the users and they've upgraded this action. You notice that it has almost like a roller bearing in there to be able to cycle that action, and it is buttery smooth. This one worked really nice, but I'm telling you, it's nowhere near as smooth as the Gen 3. It's just coming out really nice. Now, you'll notice as we move up between the Gen 2 and Gen 3, here you have your air tube, and now you have a plenum in there where the Gen 2 didn't have a plenum. Major improvement. Another case where they're listening to the user and they're improving upon the next model. Also, trigger assembly. Look at the Gen 2. Now look at the Gen 3. Just finer detail. They're both adjustable triggers, and we're talking between 1.5 and 5 pounds on both. I adjusted the trigger on the Gen 2, and it broke really nice. There was just a little bit of creep, but I mean, if there's folks out there that like to tinker with an air gun, you can be able to do that and just make it buttery smooth. It'll break like glass. Now, you'll notice on the Gen 3 that it has your pressure gauge on the bottom as opposed to the Gen 2 where it had it up at the muzzle, where a bunch of us said that we thought that was unsafe, that having it there, you shouldn't be looking down the muzzle to check how much pressure you have. Once again, they listened and put it in there. Nice improvement. So moving right along, let's go up front. Barrel bands. You guys know I am a huge fan of having a barrel band, and again, they added it to the Gen 3. I think it was a really nice touch to do that. Now, differences up here in the muzzle. Just have a cap here that holds all your baffles in the Gen 2. The Gen 3, it's already machined. So if you're putting on a moderator, guess what? You can do that, and it's already milled to the standard size. Now, as far as like fill ports, the Gen 2 had its fill port, and then you would have to put in your adapter, which is another piece of kit that we thought you could lose. Plus, it just gets dirt and all the nasties get in there. This was a nice touch, and thank God I didn't lose it, because I've been out in the brush quite a bit with this air gun. But the Gen 3, once again, they listened to the end user, and look, has nice Foster fitting on the end and just beautifully machined aluminum. And their anodized process too is just looking really well. Now, what I thought about the Gen 2 and the Gen 3, the ergonomics of the stock. As you guys know, I'm not a competitive shooter. I don't claim to be. And I like going out hunting and maybe just a little bit of fun plinking with my guns. This stock is a beautiful Monte Carlo stock, hunting style. It indexes really well. I like that the bottom of the stock is flat. There's too many times where I've had stocks that are radiused almost too much, and then one, they don't fit in shooting sticks very well, and three, they're constantly always slipping and falling off the rest. So I'm looking forward to getting this gun out in the field. Now, if you guys watch my video on this, and it's a long one, but it's worth it. It's a hunting video plus a review. I was getting 840 feet per second, maybe even a little bit higher. They're rated for 800, but you can tinker with them a little bit and change that based on the regulator is adjustable on both of these as well. Now, I didn't do that to the Gen 2 right out of the box. I mean, I literally got this and just drove to a hunting site, sighted it in, and then we went hunting, and we were getting 840 and just maybe even 880, a little bit above, with 25 grain JSB Diabolos. And when I was hunting that coyote, that's what I took that coyote with, is a 25 grain JSB Diabolo. Just a well-placed shot. I'm looking forward, I'm excited to be able to get out in the woods with the Gen 3. They both have the same weight. They both are the same size. Just some major upgrades in the breech, Picatinny rail. The action is just great. You have a plenum now, and your regulator gauge is down below, how much air you have in there. It's not a regulator gauge, I'm sorry, but it's how much air you have in your tube. I'm really excited about this DAR Gen3. What I'm really excited about the most is that you have a company that is actively listening to the user. And in the culture nowadays, where you have companies just put stuff out and they could care less about the customer, it is refreshing to see the improvements in a short amount of time based on the input from people reviewing, people on the forums, people contacting the company. They truly care about their product and they truly care and want to improve it. And it just shows in the workmanship of this air gun. Now, we're going to get it out there. We're going to do a no fluff hunting video. And as always, we're going to keep it real. We're going to see how this gun performs because, you know, you guys are going to invest in something. We want to make sure it works. But like I said earlier in the video, I wanted to get this out in front of you guys and show it to you. It was just released a couple days ago, and I thought that it was important. The last time they did, they went fast and they were out of stock within like a week. Now, one thing I like is that if you are a Gen 2 owner and you upgrade to a Gen 3, your mags will work in the Gen 3. And me personally, I think these mags are probably some of the best in the business. We get to test out a lot of gear on this channel, and I get to see stuff that works and doesn't work. This is nice anodized aluminum. It's just quality, and it works really well. And I'm really excited to see that, one, they have something that, quote, if it's not broke, don't fix it. This wasn't broke. They didn't fix it. They incorporated it into the Gen 3. Also, a full O-ring kit. You don't know how aggravating it is to not have a replacement O-ring kit. I was getting ready to do a video on another air gun. I'm not going to mention the name yet because I still have to complete the video. I gassed it up. I brought it out. I sighted it in. Gassed it up 2 or 3 times because I was sighting it in, plinking it, getting to know the air gun, and blew a seal. And I was like, really? So it didn't have a kit. I had to mail away, get another kit, and it just clearly pissed me off. If you're one of those person that is into the specs, man, we got to see it crawny, we got to see the group and all that stuff, that's all well and fine. I'm going to leave a link in the video description below to my good friend Dana Webb over at Mountain Sports Airguns. He just released a video on this air gun where he shows grouping and just a breakdown of stuff like that. Dana's channel is top notch. His filming is just off the chart, Hollywood level. If you like hunting videos, if you like product review videos on air guns and overland camp gear, I highly suggest that you go over to Dana's channel, subscribe, tell him John sent you. It'll mean a lot. It doesn't cost you anything in this time where we're paying $5, $6, $7 a gallon gas. It's just nice that we're seeing support from the community. Also, if you like these videos, hit the thumbs up button down below. Make sure you're notified to get videos. It's amazing. I get comments and messages all the time. John, I'm subscribed to the channel, but I don't get emails. I ask them, check your notifications. A lot of times they're shut off. Check your notifications. And as always, folks, I sincerely thank you so much for your support in watching the channel. I'll leave links to dynamic air rifles down below if you want to learn a little bit more about this air gun. And I look forward to sharing some adventures with this with you. So with that, folks, it's a wrap. I hope you take care, and I'll see you on the next video.